Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing one of my favorite chocolate cake recipes. This cake is incredibly soft, super moist, rich in chocolate flavor, and surprisingly easy to make. Whether you're baking for a birthday, a celebration, or simply craving chocolate, this recipe is sure to become a favorite. So let's get started. First, preheat your oven to 320 degrees Fahrenheit, 160 degrees Celsius. Grease and line your cake pans with parchment paper, then set them aside. In a medium bowl, combine 220 grams, 1 3/4 cups, all-purpose flour, 60 grams, half a cup, unsweetened cocoa powder, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 1 teaspoon baking soda, and half a teaspoon salt. Whisk everything together until the dry ingredients are evenly combined. Next, sift all the dry ingredients into a medium bowl. Then, give them a quick whisk until everything is evenly combined and set the bowl aside. Next, in a medium heat-proof mixing bowl, add 215 grams 7.5 oz of good quality dark chocolate and 170 grams 3/4 cup of unsalted butter. Microwave in 30-second intervals, stirring well after each burst until the chocolate and butter are completely melted and smooth. Be careful not to overheat the mixture. Next, I'm adding 100 milliliters, 1/3 cup plus 1 tablespoon of cold milk and mixing just until combined. The cold milk helps lower the temperature of the melted chocolate mixture, making it easier to incorporate with the remaining ingredients without cooking the eggs. Next, in a large mixing bowl, add 4 large eggs and 300 grams, 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. Beat on high speed until the mixture becomes pale in color, light, and fluffy. Next, add 80 grams 1/3 cup of canola oil and mix until fully incorporated. Next, add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and 80 grams, 1/3 cup of plain regular yogurt. Mix until everything is well combined. Now add the previously prepared chocolate mixture and mix until well combined. At this stage, make sure the sugar is fully dissolved before moving on to the next step. Next, dissolve 2 teaspoons of instant coffee granules in 110 grams, half a cup of hot water. Stir until completely dissolved, then set it aside. Now add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients in 2 batches, mixing just until combined after each addition. Be careful not to overmix the batter. Now, pour in the prepared coffee mixture and mix just until the coffee is fully incorporated and no flour streaks remain. Be careful not to overmix the batter. Now the chocolate cake batter is ready. Pour the batter evenly into the prepared cake pans. I like to use a kitchen scale to make sure each pan has the same amount of batter so the cake layers bake evenly. Gently tap the pans on the counter to release any large air bubbles. Now place the pans in the preheated oven on the center rack and bake at 320 degrees Fahrenheit, 160 degrees Celsius for 35 to 40 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean, or with a few moist crumbs attached. Once your cakes are out of the oven, let them rest in the pans for about 10 minutes. Then, run a knife around the edges, carefully turn them out onto a wire rack, and let them cool completely before frosting. These cake layers are so incredibly soft, moist, and packed with rich chocolate flavor. To make the chocolate buttercream, add 200 grams, 3/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of softened salted butter to a large mixing bowl. Beat for about 2 to 3 minutes or until it becomes smooth, creamy, and slightly pale. Today, I'm using salted butter. If you're using unsalted butter, simply add 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Next, add the sifted 35-gram, 1/3 cup unsweetened cocoa powder, 4 tablespoons, 1/4 cup of room temperature milk, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Mix on low speed until everything is well combined. Now gradually add 420 to 450 grams, 3/6 cups of confectioner's sugar, about 1 cup at a time, mixing on low speed after each addition. This helps prevent the sugar from flying everywhere. Beat again until the buttercream becomes smooth, creamy, and fluffy. If the frosting is too thick, add a little more milk. If it's too soft, add a little more confectioner's sugar. Now your chocolate buttercream is ready to frost the cake. Now it's time to frost the cake. Place a small dollop of buttercream onto your cake board or serving plate to keep the cake from sliding. Then, place the first cake layer on top. Spread a generous layer of chocolate buttercream evenly over the first layer. Place the second cake layer on top, making sure it's centered. Now apply the remaining chocolate buttercream to the top and sides of the cake. Use an offset spatula and a cake scraper to smooth the frosting until you get your desired finish. For the final decoration, I'm adding chocolate chips all around the sides of the cake. Gently press them into the buttercream so they stick nicely. Then pipe chocolate buttercream swirls all around the top edge of the cake. For the final touch, I melted 100-gram, 3.5 oz of dark chocolate with 2 tablespoons of milk until smooth and glossy. Then I poured it over the top of the cake and gently spread it into an even layer. And just like that, our chocolate cake is beautifully decorated. Doesn't it look amazing? I absolutely love how rich and elegant this cake turned out. Now let's slice it and see what's inside. Look at those beautiful, even layers. The cake is incredibly soft, perfectly moist, and filled with rich, creamy chocolate buttercream. Just look at that texture. Every bite is packed with deep chocolate flavor and practically melts in your mouth. If you're a chocolate lover, you definitely need to try this recipe. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new recipe. I'll see you in my next video. Happy baking!